The universe isn't just out there, it's interacting with you. Claim your power by embracing the unknown. This is Tracy with Tracy Talks, and I'm here to ignite your curiosity. Don't just listen, embrace it. The last couple of days have just been extremely off for me. I don't know if any of you ever have those days where I think it's a combination of the time change. The weather has been fluctuating dramatically. I haven't been feeling my normal self. Today, I don't feel my best. I don't feel 100%. I don't feel sick, but my body is achy and it feels like it's working through things. It's hard for me to focus on writing when my body is requiring so much more attention. And needless to say, I was not productive at all today. Such is life. And I thought, let me just go get my paints, try to move some of this anxiousness out by doing something. And when I'm feeling uneasy and I'm feeling agitated or I just don't feel calm, getting up and doing some type of task gives me an outlet for that anxiousness. And I can move through it. If I just sit in a chair and scroll or do something else, it doesn't provide any type of relief. And so my art room isn't really set up in the way that I like it. So I have to bring my easel down, the canvas down, the paints. I have to bring everything down to the main area. And I pick my colors. I rarely put any thought into anything. I just let my hand choose the colors that they want to choose. And I just start to paint. I don't have a goal. I don't have an objective other than to focus on the brush and the paint and how it's moving across the canvas. And now when I look at the canvas that's downstairs, the colors that are on the canvas are so intense and angry. And I just find it interesting when I just let things move through me and I don't try to create something specific. Just let whatever it is come out of me and express it and not judge it and not feel bad about it. And I'm looking at it now and it's like, wow, whew, that was a lot of something. And I know that I'm still working through whatever this energy has been that I've been holding in my body. The last time I painted before I went to get the massage, it was this cute little whimsical flower with pastels, and it was bright and it was soft and it was cute. There is none of that in my art today. None of it. It's raw, it's red, it's anger, it's everything. It is important to have some type of outlet. It's important to express things inside of us in multiple ways. I tried to write today. It didn't want to come out. It was stuck and I couldn't pull it out. But yet when I got the paint and I just started watching my hand move on the canvas, whatever was in me was coming out at the same time. And I know I need to do more of this as well, but I see people and there's a lot of us who don't have an outlet for our feelings, for our emotions, for everything that's inside of us. I mean, I do see some people having outlets. They have outbursts on other people. And it's like, why are we working out our traumas on other people? All I'm suggesting to anyone that's listening, to everyone that's listening, find some way to work through all of this stuff that we have in us, that we've picked up, that we picked up today, that we picked up last week, that we picked up when we were children, all of these emotions and feelings and energies. And when I look at the canvas, it doesn't have to be anything that I'm going to save. And most likely, I'm going to paint over it at another time. And that's what I do. A lot of my canvas have several different layers underneath of them. I feel like in so many ways, the energy that was coming out of me from the massage, I'm going to joke about it, but it was like it was so deep in my core that it was like past life stuff. And I don't focus on past lives. I assume that this isn't my first rodeo, and I assume that I have taken some other form at some other time. But I'm just trying to focus on this life and figure out how to navigate through this life. That I don't focus on trying to clear up past life karma. But if I had to figure out and name some of that energy that was coming out of my core and of my root, I would say it was like family trauma. The things that my family has carried through generation after generation, it felt that deep in me. It didn't feel like something that happened a month ago. It felt like it has been passed down through my lineage, and it is time for it to leave my body. I remember when I was a child and I would spend time with my great-grandparents, and obviously back in my great-grandparents' time, the marriage was extremely traditional. There were very defined traditional roles. And from the perspective of a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old, I didn't think anything of it. I didn't know any different. It's just the way that it was. I remember my great-grandmother sitting in her chair, and I remember her crocheting all of the time. The arthritis was so bad in her fingers that her fingers were bent to the sides. She couldn't straighten them out. Now remembering those experiences at this point, I can't help but wonder why her body was so drawn up, and what was she holding back, and what was she holding in, and what was she trying to control deep within her body, that it had drawn herself up so much. And that's one of the reasons why I do continue to prioritize my physical well-being. I have arthritis in my genetics. I have seen how drawn up and restricted and rigid so many family members have been. This is why I prioritize walking and stretching and all of those motions that keep me, as much as I can, from becoming stiff and rigid. It's also why I try to keep my beliefs as open and aware as possible. Today, I really have just felt absolutely horrible, which doesn't happen for me. I don't feel sick very often. I feel like that it's just me still working out everything from my body that I've been holding in. And by my art, it was pretty intense, whatever it was. I don't know what it was, but by looking at that piece, I'm not going to put that on the wall. I don't know, maybe I could. I wouldn't say that I intentionally want to hide from my anger and my rage, and that I do see artists who have pieces that focus on those emotions that we don't want to really see in society. Once I put the brush down and I stepped back, I felt a whole lot better. It's so important to have an outlet, to have multiple outlets for whatever comes up. It's not always the most convenient time for things to come up, but I work through it so much faster than if I had just continued to sit on the sofa and scroll. Thank you for listening to this episode of Tracy Talks. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe, and share with others who would enjoy listening to this podcast. Friends can find Tracy Talks available on iTunes, Spotify, Substack, and YouTube. Hit me up on Instagram and Facebook at More Tracy Talks. And until next time, we meet again.